The world is watching again. With Donald Trump's potential return to the White House, global markets tremble, leaders hold emergency meetings, and ordinary families brace for impact. Why? Because Trump doesn't just make policies, he detonates economic grenades. Picture this: tariffs that force European farmers to dump milk, factories in Asia shutting down overnight, and entire nations scrambling to renegotiate trade deals. This isn't speculation, it's history repeating. Remember 2018? A single Trump tweet sent soybean prices plunging 20% in hours, crippling Brazilian farmers while China retaliated with tariffs of its own. Now, imagine that chaos, but on steroids. Trump's 2024 blueprint includes slashing UN funding, threatening NATO allies, and imposing 60% tariffs on China. The stakes higher than ever. For the first time, nuclear-averse Japan discusses arming itself. Germany's economy, already wobbling, could collapse under auto tariffs. And your grocery bill? It's about to become a political statement. This isn't just American politics. It's a domino effect hitting kitchen tables worldwide. Stick around. In the next minutes, we'll unpack how Trump's playbook could rewrite global trade, trigger shockwaves in your portfolio, and even redraw the map of international alliances. Miss this, and you're flying blind into the storm. Those kitchen table shocks we mentioned? Trump's tariffs are the hidden hammer behind them. Picture this: a Michigan auto worker suddenly laid off because retaliatory tariffs crushed export demand. Or a single mom in Texas staring at a 30% price hike on her kid's shoes, all because of trade wars she never voted for. This isn't theory, it's déjà vu. In 2018, Trump's China tariffs cost the average U.S. household $277 annually. Now, his proposed 60% sequel? That's economic nitroglycerin. Here's the brutal math. When tariffs hit, supply chains seize up like a clogged artery. Prices balloon, jobs vanish. And here's where it gets scary. This contagion spreads fast. China slaps tariffs on soybeans. Iowa farmers go bankrupt. Germany's auto exports tank. EU factories furlough workers. It's global pain with your name on the receipt. But wait, there's a twist most miss. Tariffs don't just empty wallets, they redraw the geopolitical map. When trade dries up, desperate nations take dangerous gambles. Think Japan rearming, think Germany cozying up to Russia for gas. This isn't just about economics, it's about who holds the knife when the pie shrinks. Up next, the chilling chain reaction these policies could unleash beyond trade. Don't look away, this part predicts your next paycheck. Now let us connect the dots. Those tariffs and funding cuts aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet, they are sparks in a tinderbox. Here's the brutal truth. When economies crumble, leaders grab for power. Think Putin's playbook in 2014. China could retaliate by blocking rare earth minerals, the invisible ingredients in your phone, your car, even military tech. Suddenly, factories shutter, jobs vanish. Then come the distractions. A disputed island here, a naval exercise there. History shows us, when wallets empty, flags wave louder. And here's where it gets scary. NATO's weakened. Trump dismisses Article 5, the alliance's attack one, attack all pledge, as bad deal-making. That's like removing the locks while shouting, "Come and get it," to adversaries. One miscalculation, one ship collision in the South China Sea, and we're not talking tariffs anymore. We're talking bullets. This isn't fear-mongering. It's cause and effect. Miss this chain reaction, and the next headline might not be about your grocery bill, but your draft notice. And that economic domino effect, it doesn't stop at trade wars or military tensions. Here is the chilling part. It is starving the very organization meant to prevent global chaos, the United Nations. Picture this, a fire department with half its hoses cut. Now imagine the fire is a potential genocide. That's what happens when the US slashes UN funding. Remember Haiti? The UN couldn't even deploy peacekeepers fast enough during the 2021 gang crisis. That's not incompetence, that's calculated starvation. We're talking vaccine programs collapsing in Africa, North Korean refugees losing shelters, and no watchdog for chemical weapons in Syria. The math is brutal. Cut funds, and you're gambling with real lives. Want to predict where this leads? Look at the void left when America stepped back from WHO during COVID. Spoiler, China filled it. Every dollar pulled from the UN isn't just savings, it's power surrendered. Now ask yourself, who benefits when the world's referee is kneecapped? Because right now, autocrats from Moscow to Beijing are cheering. So who stands to lose the most in this high-stakes game? Let's cut through the noise. China's rare earth monopoly isn't just a bargaining chip, it's a stranglehold. Picture this, 90% of the world's smartphones, electric vehicles, and military tech rely on these minerals. If Beijing flips the switch, entire industries collapse overnight. But here's what nobody's saying. Europe's green energy transition, dead in the water. Germany's auto giants, crippled. And the Pentagon's F-35 jets, grounded without critical components. Now shift gears to Mexico. Their entire economy hangs on U.S. trade, $768 billion in 2022 alone. Trump's proposed 60% tariffs? That's not just a tax, it's economic Armageddon. Factories shuttering, families starving, cartels recruiting desperate workers by the thousands. Then there's Taiwan, the ultimate domino. No U.S. Navy presence means Xi's invasion fleet sets sail within hours. Think Hong Kong was bad. Wait until TSMC's chip factories light up Chinese missiles on your nightly news. Here's the brutal truth. Every nation on this list shares one fatal flaw. They bet everything on a world where America plays nice. Now the rules are changing. And the clock, it's already ticking. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And right now, the world is hearing a familiar, dangerous tune. Take the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, America's last great isolationist experiment. Taxes on over 20,000 imported goods skyrocketed overnight. The result? Global trade collapsed by 66%. Unemployment hit 25%, and within a decade, World War II. Fast forward to 1973, the OPEC oil embargo. When America abandoned Middle East allies, gas lines stretched for blocks. Price shocks triggered stagflation that took a decade to fix. Now look at today's playbook. China controls 90% of rare earth metals, just like the 1970s oil cartel. U.S. tariff threats against Mexico mirror Smoot-Hawley's economic kamikaze. And UN funding cuts? They're repeating the exact missteps that created power vacuums before WOFN. Here's what these patterns scream. When America retreats, chaos advances. In the 1930s, it took 12 years for the world to collapse into war. Today, with hypersonic missiles and AI-driven markets, the countdown moves at digital speed. The warning lights are flashing, not in history books, but in Haiti's gang-run streets, Africa's coup belt and Taiwan's missile silos. Those who don't learn from history are about to relive its darkest chapters. The stakes couldn't be higher. In just the last few minutes, we've uncovered how Trump's tariff threats could cripple Mexico's economy, how Taiwan's survival hinges on U.S. naval power, and how history's darkest trade wars began with policies eerily similar to what's being proposed today. Now, the question isn't just about understanding these dangers, it's about what you can do to stay ahead of them. Imagine having real-time clarity while others drown in misinformation, spotting geopolitical shifts before they become headlines, and making decisions with confidence instead of fear. That's the power of staying informed, and it starts right here. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications, because in the next 72 hours, we're dropping a bombshell report on how China is secretly stockpiling rare earth metals, a move that could black out the US tech industry overnight. The first 100 subscribers who comment "Geostrategy" below will get exclusive access to our Threat Assessment Toolkit, a step-by-step guide to decoding global risks. But hurry! This offer vanishes when the video hits 10K views. Want to go deeper? Smash the like button and let us know. Which threat worries you most? Taiwan's vulnerability, Mexico's economic collapse, or China's rare earth monopoly? Your input shapes our next investigation. And remember, in a world where ignorance is the ultimate vulnerability, knowledge isn't just power, it's survival. The next domino could fall any moment. Will you be watching?